doing that.
We're here.
Where he's at right now. So
we're here, mate.
We're here. Oh, nope, that's not going to make it.
Speaking of traffic, I was in California on the highway going through LA. Six lanes each way. Friday night, 6 o'clock, going dark, and somebody broke down in one of the center lanes. 6 lanes. Mm-hmm. Luckily, it was behind me. Otherwise, I'd have probably still been there.
Not friendly.
It's the highway to hell.
Yeah.
Not good.
Voices by Juan. Jordan is already in the house. Where are y'all at? I'm stuck in cruising the coast traffic. LOL. Here we are. And it's 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Juan, you're probably in the Central Time Zone. You've been sitting there for an hour expecting our program to kick up. It's not there yet. 9 o'clock. It's 8 o'clock his time. So we're here at 9. Sunday Funnies, folks. Let's run that opening. We got another great book to show off today. Let's get to it. There we are.
Holy shit. That is the craziest thing I have ever seen. And I'm Dennis Quaid, and Dennis Quaid has seen some shit.
Come on in, folks. We see you out there. Hit that like button if you can. Wherever you're watching us from, let me go through and change my Facebook around. This is the Sunday Funnies for the 6th of October. 2024. Oh, come back here. My Facebook is running away from me. That's not good. There we are.
It's Groundhog Day.
Yeah. There we are. Sunday Funnies. I'm your host, Randy Zimmerman. You can find my material over at, most of my material over at aerocomics.store. If you look on Amazon or Barnes & Noble, you're bound to find something there as well. Just look under my name or look under Shadow Kingdom. We have Russ and I have a great book called The Shadow Kingdom that's available on all of these platforms and criticalblast.com as well. Available in multiple formats. Shadow Kingdom. It's the first sword and sorcery story that was written by Robert E. Howard that is in the public domain, featuring Cull just as he becomes king of Valusia, and his association or first meeting with Brule, who becomes his lifelong friend. And the adventure that they have as they try to keep Cull's kingdom free of a invasion of shape-shifting lizard people.
Yeah.
Lizard people. Yeah.
Lizard people.
Exactly. Lots of other stuff to be found over at aerocomics.store. A little bit for everybody. We try to put the most entertaining and quality-based products up there that we can make. You'll find HeroBot Zero, Calico, Paragon, all sorts of Alice in Chains. The Fool is over there. All sorts of great stuff and a lot more on the way. This next year, you're going to see a lot of digital and physical files available that you might not be able to get anywhere else over at aerocomics.store. Thanks, Diamond. Anyway. I should say thanks, Diamond, but whatever. Here we are.
Yeah.
Got a good book. Yeah. Also joining me this morning is Mr. Glenn Fleming. Glenn, introduce yourself.
Hi, everybody. My name is Glenn Fleming. I'm a writer, artist, and publisher. I spent 40 years in graphics, having a fantastic time making loads of money and loads of contacts, and here I am on a podcast on a Sunday afternoon. I've got 12 books published, different subjects, JFK, science fiction, cartoons, children's books, all kinds of things. Those are all over on Amazon. I wrote a book about my visit to see Jack Kirby a few years ago, well, many years ago, 30 odd years ago now. Drawn licensed characters. I'm designed and published magazines. I've interviewed people who walked on the moon. I've done quite a few things, but if you want to find my books and stuff, just go to Amazon or New Haven Publishing and you'll find everything there. Barnes & Noble, check it out.
Great. Also joining us this morning, Mr. Russ Leach. Russ, introduce yourself, please.
Hi there, my name's Russ Leach. I'm a comic book artist from the UK, and as suggested, as the aforementioned Randy Zimmerman has said, we're working on a book which extends the story from the Shadow Kingdom. We're very proud of that book. It's out there in all kinds of formats. You can also pick up a hard copy version of it, as in a hardback version of it, over at Fund My Comic at the moment, because we are now pushing the story forward with the Atlantean. 50 pages, black and white, once every it's not quite quarterly, 3 times a year at least. You're going to see this book coming out, and we're really, really pleased with it. You want to find out more about that, obviously you can back it over at fundmycomic.com, or you can just go to my website, russleach.com, and sign up for the email list. If you want to see a quick one of the latest pages, I'll just pop that up for you so you can have a quick look before we get going. There you go.
Here we are.
So that's what you're going to get. Classic black and white artwork. And it's episodic content, so it's serialized, but at the same time, each book is its own individual story. You can just enjoy them on your own if you want to. So classic stuff. That's what we're going for. We're reproducing, what we love, what we loved about comics. And we're getting it down on the page for you. So go check it out, russleach.com, and sign up for the email list there.
There we go. Yep. Today we're going to be looking at the one and only Rogue Trooper.
Yeah.
2000 AD originally and collected by Titan. Beautiful bound volume collecting the first book of stories. Great Titan volume. They've done a lot of great reprints in the past. We've looked at a number of them over the last few weeks. Nemesis and the Brian Boland Judge Dredd material, all collected from 2000 AD. They also do British reprint strips like Garth and Modesty Blaze. If you ever see these trade paperbacks, nice square bound, available at a convention, they are well worth the price to pick up and read, no matter if you're familiar with the material or not. Just great books. Some of my favorite volumes, and some of the most fun properties as well. Everyone thinks that 2000 AD is just Judge Dredd, and it's really not. Dredd's only about a 10th, really a 5th of the book every week that it comes out. There's a lot of other great IPs, and Rogue Trooper is one of them. We'll go through his origin and his early stories here in this volume. This was done. Go ahead.
So I was just saying that cover, that's a Gibbons cover, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just looking at the design of the costume, or what there is of the costume, and the gun, but there's no book there.
Yeah, there will be. Give me just a second. I'm reading the copyright dates on this.
All right.
Copyright date is 1984.
Yeah, a long time ago.
Yeah.
What's great about it is he's got this futuristic story with futuristic designs and elements, and yet there's this kind of classic World War II look to it as well.
Mm-hmm.
So you look at the gun and the way that he's got. I mean, it's quite clever because you don't have to ever draw a trigger finger, which is always a pain in the backside to draw.
Yeah.
So he's got the arm going into the gun there, and that's kind of neat, It's just so it looks like vaguely sci-fi, but then it also looks like a World War II gun because it's got that wooden aspect and.
Yeah, and he's got an American Army helmet on there.
That's right. The helmet is very much like the old American Army helmets, and then he's got the straps as well with the hand grenades on that look like normal hand grenades. It's I just love the combination of all of that stuff. It's fabulous.
Yeah. 1984. This was printed, folks.
And it's material from 1981.
1981.
That's when it started, yeah.
Another Gibbons illustration here.
Yeah. He'll do well, won't he, Gibbons? He's quite good.
Yeah. He might have a career in this business.
I like him. I met him a couple of times. I like him. He's a good guy.
He's a nice bloke, yeah.
Yes, a nice bloke.
Genuine fella.
Yeah.
From Prague, 228. Issue 228, September of 1981. He's the next feared man on New Earth. Most feared man on New Earth. Rogue Trooper. Look at that cover.
Yeah, we should point out that he's genetically he's not real, is he? He's a clone. And he's on New Earth, which was poisoned in a sort of you wouldn't call it a nuclear attack, but the entire world war, and all the surface is poisoned now. He's okay because he's not human, and the other people, the Nauts and the Salvers, these are like the Allies, aren't the Salvers? And the Nauts,
aren't they designed? Aren't they designed to be on that planet only because it's
genetically modified? Yeah,
it's all messed up, and apparently the planet itself is in some way strategic.
It's why you've got guys and breathers here.
Yeah, so I suppose it's an analogy of some of the places that we took in, say the Second World War, that were seemingly utterly useless, and yet we took them for strategic value only.
Iwo Jima.
And I think that's what this is getting at in a lot of ways, because it is very anti-war.
Yeah, it very much is an anti-war statement.
Well, you were saying about Russ, about it being like a World War II vibe, and you bang on with that, because the Nauts are obviously sort of German because they're the bad guys, and Rogue is with the Allies or the Americans, whichever one you call it. He's even got the helmet, hasn't he?
And it's got GI written on it.
Yeah, but the Nauts and both sides have to wear those suits or some kind of suit.
Yeah,
because the atmosphere is poison. But Rogue doesn't have to do that because he's genetically altered too.
Did they send in
each side has their own logo?
Yeah, did they send in like a troop of these genetic soldiers, and they all got massacred apart from him? Isn't that the school?
Yeah, they got betrayed by the general, didn't they? There's this general who was supposedly on their side, but he was working for the Nauts, and he told the Nauts where these guys were going to be, and they all got massacred except for Rogue.
It explains it here as we go along. Yeah.
What a lovely panel that is. That bottom right hand panel is just classic, isn't it?
Very much,
so good.
It looks a bit like the Mekon, doesn't it, with that?
Yeah, a little
large full philtrum.
Yes. Is that all ink, or is there any shade in that?
No, it's all cross hatching here. Yeah.
Fabulous.
There's no screens laid down here at all. It's all cross hatching.
Yeah.
Here for all of the gray tones. Yeah, very beautiful. Very well done. Oh, let me double check that dust here. Some of that might have a gray tone screen behind it.
Right.
Just to drop it back a little more. Yeah, it does. It kind of looks like it does back here on this panel. It's got a little, almost like a dry brush effect, I think is a gray tone screen, but everything else is all hand. The cross hatching here is all done by hand. All of this is by hand, cross hatching here. Just expertly done. Classic. And they use that for the cover.
Yeah,
I think
similar design. It was not the same, but it's similar design.
Not the same. Yeah, not the same illustration, but yeah, close.
He's gone rogue.
The great thing I loved about the Titan reprint books is that they reprinted on beautiful white paper that took the ink incredibly well, where the 2000 ADs were done on the most inexpensive newsprint they could possibly find.
If you look at the right-hand page, the top panel where he's saying he's gone rogue, that composition, the way that he's left the left side of the guy's helmet, he hasn't rendered that. That's to me, that's and there's nothing wrong with this. That's a Frank Bellamy, type of thing to do.
Ism, a Bellamy-ism,
a Bellamy-ism, yeah. And there's nothing wrong with copying that because
no.
You know,
gotta take your techniques, take them from the best. Yeah.
That's right.
I like the splitting up of that panel as well, where he's gunner, helm, bagman. And this calling them out, and you've got 3 different panels. That's great.
Well, that's also the first time you realize that his gun, his helmet, and his backpack are all talking to him.
Well, they're the biochips from his dead friends, aren't they?
Yeah.
Of the massacred soldiers, and he's put them in obviously those strategic places.
They explain that in this story. They're all dropped in teams of 4, and then as they're eliminated, the big thing they have to save is their digital patterns. And it all goes into that one chip, and they take the chip out and store it on their body until they regroup, and then they can take the chips off and make more artificial soldiers off of those chips. But the chips are vital.
That what was that show that was on Netflix a little while ago? They did a couple of series of it, and it was all about these biochips you had in the back of your neck, so you could effectively grow a human and keep, your pattern was in it. I can't remember the name of the show. They'd obviously been watching this or reading this.
Yeah. Again, just beautiful ink work here on this.
It's lovely, isn't it?
And that is all line work and cross hatching here. Thick brush work. Takes the guy's breather off so that he chokes and dies.
Wow, look at that. Look at that. Black on that top left panel. Wow. That's fantastic, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful lighting.
Running off of that major light source. Yeah, just fantastic.
My mask. Joke. Oof.
Throws his gun as it's firing.
Is that? Oh yeah, okay. Well, I couldn't see it then; it was a bit blurred. That's like a double whammy, isn't it? Fire your weapon and throw it as well.
Yeah. Well, the gun is self-firing because it's got the chip in it.
Yeah.
Same thing with the backpack, and it can eject supplies over Rogue's head when he needs it.
That's handy then.
Yeah. Great shot.
Road trooper.
Scripts being taken over by Jerry Finley Day. Bill Nuttall is still lettering. Did he create it? Yes, he did. Sorry, I listed on the opening that it was in the blurbs that it was Pat Mills. My mistake.
No, he created it with Dave Gibbons, Jerry Finley Day.
Yeah.
He gave up comics into Russ a while back, Jerry.
Who's that?
Jerry Finley Day. Did he not? Didn't he?
Well, he's probably getting on. Yes.
No, but 20, 30 years ago, a long time ago.
Oh, right. Okay.
I don't know why.
I didn't know.
Wasn't he a big science fiction writer, wasn't he?
I'm not sure.
He's got some major books under his belt. I could be mistaken.
Wouldn't surprise me if you did.
He also did what is it? The V6.
The VCs.
IPO VCs over
The
there. Yeah.
VCs. He did the VCs. All right.
Didn't he write some Slain at one point? I think. I could be
Yeah,
wrong.
he did lots of things on 2000 AD. Just that
Yeah.
this was one of his main things, and he disappeared. I don't know whether he just was doing other things or just gave up or whatever. I don't know, but he stopped doing it. I know that. Well, at least working for 2000 AD. Maybe he was writing his books.
Yeah.
2000 put a book out in 2022 called 45 Years of 2000 AD, The Best of Jerry Finley Day.
Right. There you go.
So he's been working with him for 45 years. Rogue Trooper is there on Amazon. Hellman of Hammer Force, Snowfall. It's advertised. Ant Wars. Wasn't that out of Star-Lord to begin with? Giant ants eating people.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. It's a Dracula book. The Dracula Files attributed to him. The Sarge from Battle. Dan Dare, VCs, Rat Pack. Yeah, Hellman, Rogue Trooper, Sarge again. No major novels that I'm seeing.
Right.
Fiends of the Eastern Front.
Oh, wasn't that Carlos Esquerra?
Jerry Finley Day. Let me check who did the art on that. I think you're right. That had to do with vampires during World War II, didn't it?
That's right. Yeah, that was bonkers.
Yeah.
Look at the panel there with the credits on it. He says deadlock battle between the Southern and North forces in cities like New Paris, famous for its mighty Mitterrand Tower. And there it is at the bottom, the Mitterrand Tower. Brilliant.
Yeah, I am not seeing a writer or an artist attributed to this. 2000 AD that grabbed me. That might be a straight up novel. Hardcover. That Jerry Finley Day is the only one attributed for creation. Might be an actual written novel from
Right.
Rebellion. 48 pages. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Yeah. A lot of Rogue Trooper material in reprint. Old Eagle comics here. And anyway, yeah, that's about all we're running into now.
When you read the I think it lasted about 5 years, this strip, didn't it? But then they changed it all and then they reverted back. But for the first sequence, let's call it the first, multiple series thing,
Mhm.
he's I just thought he's almost like the fugitive and the invaders. He's on the run all the time.
Yeah.
You know, that struggle with the lone guy like Roy Thins and Richard Kimball, trying to, was it David Vincent Roy Thins, wasn't it?
Mhm.
Seems to be a theme, a well-worn theme.
He finds out that the North and South are both the same side, isn't it? Doesn't he? They're all run by the same corporation.
I can't remember.
And
That sounds like
causing war because it just makes money.
Well, it's like the bankers in World War II. They backed Hitler and they backed the Allies. They couldn't lose, could they?
Yeah.
hedge your bets.
Yeah. Give the other guy weapons so you know what he's got.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, missed a page.
Wow, color.
Missed a beautifully inked page. Cross hatching back there.
Those notes really need to get a better suit because as soon as he turns up, they always lose their helmet, don't they? Or they don't last. Their suits aren't very reliable.
No.
Not very tough.
Now, this was printed in 81. He must have done this right before he did Watchmen.
Oh yeah, this is he wasn't on it that long. He was. He must. I think he finished in 82. Dave Gibbons. I'm not sure, which is 5 years before Watchmen. No, 4 years.
He did a bunch of Tharg stuff, and then he was on. He did some Judge Dredd, didn't he?
Did some Green Lantern, I think, right before he did Watchmen, didn't he?
And
Yeah,
before he did this, he was doing what was that?
Harlem
the
Heroes.
Harlem Heroes. That's he was doing Harlem Heroes, and also Doctor Who as well.
Yeah.
He was, yeah.
And he also worked on a South African book as well.
Yeah.
A superhero.
So he was. You can see how his work, because he was working at pace. He was doing huge volumes of work, and you could just see how he how his style worked. I actually prefer this stuff here. I prefer this to Watchmen.
Yeah.
I think it's got a bit more texture in it.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously, when Watchmen is the artwork is fabulous. Also, his figures in this aren't quite as tall and odd looking, whereas there's very much a kind of a vibe to the figures in Watchmen.
Yeah, they're all very slim and tall, aren't they?
Yeah, whereas these are a bit, and then that could well be on purpose.
Yeah,
because of the whole sort of how to draw superheroes the Marvel way, 8 heads tall, 7 heads tall, whatever it is. It could have something to do with that, and it could be just a very, very clever play. Obviously, it might not. It might just be the way he decided to draw it, but certainly the stature of the people in this strip is more realistic.
Yes, the proportions. Yeah,
the proportions are definitely more realistic.
Oh, there you go, choking again.
Yeah. Crystal Nightmare.
Is that the Metron Tower he's gone up? Name.
Look at that. Just the way it's... Oh.
It's here.
Fabulous, isn't it?
Yeah. Smartly done.
That damn snipers, they give war a bad name.
Yeah, New Paris ain't gonna tell us anything. Let's move on, Rogue. Where to now? Another part of the front, Bagman. Watching out for Norts ahead and Millicom behind. We're staying, Rogue, till the job is done. It's a glass zone. Nice ships. Look at that. Some beautifully done Earth back here, or planet, I should say, New Earth. Shows how they all got dropped. They realized it was a trap.
It's a trap.
Exactly.
Love. Look at that. The way it's like, I presume that's not so much ice as it's been glassed.
Yeah.
It says it's a glass zone there. Yeah,
it is glass. Yeah, it's melted sand, isn't it? It's glass.
Just brilliant.
Sarah in the house. Good morning. She says, and Glenn.
Sarah.
Yes. Where's the babbling baby clip? It's my fave. It always says what I'm thinking.
It talks to Sarah. Yes.
There you go. That was for you, Sarah. Says gorgeous artwork, Russ. I'd have that on my wall.
Oh, thank you, Sarah.
Yeah, steampunk vibe. Afternoon, y'all. Matt Black's in the house. Matt Black Gaming. Glad you're here. Isn't this your work, Glad?
No.
Dave Gibbons.
Wish it was.
I wish it was, yeah.
The cover has a
my Rogue
Go
Troop
ahead.
was pretty good that they didn't want, but anyway, that's another story. Even though I say it myself.
Cover's got a cyberpunk vibe, but the internal art looks very military. Interesting. Yeah. V6 is an engine. V8 is a drink. VC, I have no idea what that would mean. It's a sci-fi thing. Derp.
Was that Vertical Corpse or something like that?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
William Pace in the house. Glad you're here. William, good to see you. Where the fells is choking? It's making that thrack. Yeah. Matt Black laughs. Sarah says, my day is now complete with the babbling baby. Thank you. Hee hee.
It's so nice to have easily pleased audiences.
Well, my year's complete now. That somebody thinks this artwork is mine.
Yeah, because I could dine out on that for the next 10 years.
Just wait till I see Dave Gibbons.
Yeah, hey, Dave. What do you reckon, eh?
Here they're explaining the origin, the start of it all. He said, knocking his camera around.
Again.
I'm leaving it alone. I swear.
Look at that. Look at the content in that panel. Wow.
Yeah, I like the near silhouette here.
Yeah, I like the that first panel. I like the sort of Kirby thing where he's addressing the reader.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what you got to try and do. Get a bit of eye contact.
Yeah.
That's what he said, isn't it? Get some eye contact on your cover.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep, his mate dies, so he takes his chip and puts it on the gun. Carries it with him.
So he's so they've all been ambushed there, and his friends are there, and they're all dying in biochips.
Mm-hmm.
And I've taken it that they can be recreated again later.
Yeah, Gunner. Yeah.
Right.
Lucky.
Yeah, they just make another clone and pop the chip in.
Yeah.
It says it's done, Gunner. It says lucky the doctors never engineered us GIs to cry. That's it. Transplanted his chip onto his rifle, safe until I can get him home for a new body. I don't need my rifle now, not while Gunner is with me. Continues on. He's being rushed. He reaches for his backpack. Takes out his torch. Scalpel. Less scalpel. Air suits. He goes to reach for his gun, and Gunner tells him that he's cooled off and clean to kill. Rogue. So he turns it on him. Moves on. Die, Southern fools.
Batum. Wow, look at that.
So, of course, Russ, it's my style, your artwork. Just hope you're not tall if you're a vertical corpse. Makes mowing difficult. Yeah.
It's corpse without the E.
Yeah. Cool.
Really like how his eyes are all white. Sorry, Russ, didn't mean to step on you there.
That's okay. I just said it's corpse without the E, but there you go.
Really like how his eyes are all white with that black mask around.
That is cool. Yeah.
Do you think this is where Warhammer 40K comes from? I think there's always science fiction military stuff. If Warhammer has a primary influence, it's probably Starship Troopers more than anything by Heinlein. That was out in the 50s. He says, just looking at the APC design. Yeah. You never know. Everybody takes from everybody else. But a lot of this is practical, like we said at the start of the show. It looks very usable, only almost World War II era, only souped up.
It's a great bit of action there, where he's got his laser knife, laser scalpel, and kills them off hand to hand, dives for his gun and turns, and you don't need to see him turn, you just need to see them being shot.
Yeah,
that's a great piece of action. That is a perfect example of talking about reading between the panels, reading in the gutters. What happens in the gutters is important.
Yeah.
And why the comic book medium is the best, because it doesn't describe everything to you. It allows you to imagine along with the story, and yet it still visually creates it creates these environments for you and these stories, but it lets you participate. And that's something that no other medium, I believe, does, because when you read a novel, it's almost like it's explicit. It describes everything to the point where there's little imagination allowed. And films are obviously completely passive. You're taking in everything from the film. But comic books, they're that wonderful sweet spot between the two. So the visual medium that, if they're drawn well, if they're produced well visually, can almost feel animated if the work is done really well. And then on top of that, you read in between the panels so that you're acting on your imagination. I think that's why comic books are just so great.
Yeah. Sarah says, "Oh, then it's pronounced without the S at the end for core." That's where I got confused.
Yeah, it's like Marine Corps.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, look at this.
Got lighting again on that. Yeah.
Yeah, just
on that tank. The tank looks like a Dalek, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So it's moving. It's like a Dalek. Which, of course, is what Daleks were based on.
Who did this after Gibbons?
Colin Wlson.
Right.
Then Cam Kennedy comes in.
Cam Kennedy.
Brett Ewins as well. He had a story.
Brett Ewins. Yeah. Right. Okay. Because I remember most of it being looser than this.
Yeah, I think the Cam Kennedy stuff, which I don't think we're looking at today, is the best. But I just love his work. This is fantastic, but I don't think it's as good as Cam Kennedy. That's just an opinion.
Yeah. Assad's here. The United game is stressing me out, so I'm here now. I don't know what's going on.
Thanks, Assad. Yeah, happy to have you.
What's the score, Assad? I think you're right, Russ. This artwork is, I wouldn't say better than Watchmen, but
no, it's not about better. It's I prefer it.
It's not better. It's not better than Watchmen. It's better than Watchmen.
It's not better than Watchmen. It's better than Watchmen, in my opinion. I just prefer the proportions that he's putting into this.
I agree.
And I think he's gone even heavier in the spot blacks than he did in Watchmen.
Yes, he has.
And
he has, yeah.
it's very graphic. It's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Any page you've had up to this point, you would put on your wall.
Yeah.
Yeah, it all adds to the mood too. The heavy
Yeah.
blacks, the
It's
cut
all
and dried
superb.
seriousness of the war. Says here he's just done a few of the blades, just enough so that you know it's a grassy area.
And he's misted out his back foot as well. Rather
Yeah.
lovely with some stippling there, is it? Or is it crosshatch? I can't see.
Crosshatch, I think. It's crosshatch. Isn't it?
Yeah. The floating mines here.
No decapitators. Wow. Oh, look at that. Look at that black on that. Look at that.
Yeah.
Under that helmet. How
Just
good
his
is that?
nose.
Yeah.
Superb.
And then we've got the mole coming up. Alan Tracy's shooting at him.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Imagine that double spread on your wall.
Yeah.
How good would that be? Wow. Not much you can say, is there?
No, it leaves you completely blown away. It's just so good.
He shoots a bag man though, so he ends up taking his backpack, takes his chip off, and puts it on his backpack, takes it with him.
Wow.
Love it. Apparently it's 0-0 at the moment,
Right.
says Matt.
Texture.
And yeah, it did have a game back in the day, didn't it?
Yeah.
0-0 at the moment.
Thanks.
This comic had gone, had a game back in 2006 for the PlayStation 2. Yeah, Juan.
I never played it.
No, I never did either.
I'll tell you what, Gibbons, look at the picture there where he's shooting the guy, where he's going, "Hey, backstabbers."
Mm.
Gun is heavy.
Yeah, it is. You're right. Yeah, brilliant.
That's what George Lucas did in Star Wars. You know, he said he was fed up of seeing films where when the people with sci-fi guns, you know, space guns, as opposed to real Thompson machine guns and all that. He put lead. He had the people put lead in them, so they were heavy. So
is that why all the stormtroopers missed?
Yeah. So if you watch that, you know the bit when he gets Carrie Fisher on the line and goes over that big drop.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Well, if you look at that sequence, watch the stormtroopers, and the guns are like German MG42s, and they look really heavy. And if you watch her, she's got like a little Sten gun type of thing, and she's not having difficulty, but you can tell that it's really heavy.
And
like
Luke Skywalker holds his with both hands as well.
Yeah.
Like it's heavy. Yeah.
And that's what he wanted to give that effect.
Even with super advanced technology, if you're generating that kind of power that you could produce a laser blast like that in a small compact gun, the gun would be heavy because it would have some kind of technology in it. It would need that kind of heavyweight technology. I think again there's that bit where they're escaping the Death Star and they're all going into the Millennium Falcon, and Han is like shooting his gun and it's like wobbling in his hand where he's flicking it about, because you can see it's like it's really sort of having some kind of recoil on it, and it's a big gun. It's great. It's good stuff.
Matt Black says, United are doing well when they're sat under Bournemouth.
Yeah.
Bournemouth. Uh-huh.
Bournemouth, yeah.
Just a little sauce for the UK there.
There's a
Oh,
tight
look
fit.
at that.
Wow.
God.
That flying machine's really moving, isn't it?
Yeah. This is too good.
Get a little Nort Raiders, little alien looking. Destroy their crawlers. Destroy everything.
Look at that. You can say it's all thanks to my shooting. He says, "Shut it, Gunner." Shut it. There's a good British.
Yeah.
Shut it.
Turn of phrase. Shut it.
Yeah.
Shut it, you slag. Oh dear. Brilliant.
I wonder how much of this artwork Dave's still got. I know he's not. Yeah, I don't think he's got much of his Watchmen artwork. That went a long time ago.
Look at that. That's great.
Lovely stuff. Just the black. Just the lighting is phenomenal.
Mm-hmm. Aye, yeah, hard.
Again, are we at a situation now where this lettering is being done by hand, or I mean, if this was 1984,
it's done by hand, and it's Bill Nuttall, and it's stuck on the artwork.
Excellent.
I've got this font though.
I was wondering about the big thick ones. I'm wondering if they're Letraset.
Yeah, probably Letraset or very early computer typesetting and pasted in.
Maybe. That was why I was asking, because those really sort of jumped out as being not done by hand, but the rest of it does look like it. So yeah, good.
Matt Black says the spaceship looks a bit like the Eagle. Was it from Space 1999? Yeah,
it does look a little bit like that. Yeah,
kind of got that front to it.
They're great, those Eagles. I loved them when I was a kid. What I want to know is, where's the bloody moon base, eh? It's 2024. Where's the moon base, and where are my bloody rocket packs?
They're not going to tell you.
You mean the real ones for us?
Yeah, mine.
Well, I
don't care if there's a Black Ops one up there. I want one.
I was talking to Helen the other day about back in 1968, on the back of them just before the moon landing, and 2001 was released. Do you remember Laker Airways? And he did these cheap States flights, but Pan Am offered, I don't know how much it was, but if you put money in, it was for the first flight to the moon.
Wow.
And people were putting money in, and Pan Am went bust, I think, in the 70s, and I'm not sure where all the money went. But
I wonder why they went
bust. To the moon. I don't think anybody went to the moon, did they? Except the astronauts.
No. Well, not officially, anyway.
Not civilians.
Michael DeFonte, I hope I pronounced that right. It says comic books are an incredible medium. You can do anything. I finished reading a comic about cartoonists living during Spain's dictatorship in 1957. Movies are no longer that sophisticated anymore. Yep.
Yeah. You
can do a lot of great things with it once you know how to use it. It's already there, the moon base.
Yeah.
We're just waiting for it to be confirmed.
It's on the far side.
Yeah, along with the aliens.
Yeah.
They are so afraid that they're going to disrupt the structure of society by admitting that there were aliens or previous civilizations here.
It would, wouldn't it? It's not religion on the head, wouldn't it?
Oh no, they'd find a way.
Yeah.
If you're religious, you'd find a way.
Yeah. Well, the Pope's already done it, and he said, of course, there's other people out there. Yeah, you know.
Yeah, he's already said, we can. It's okay to be alien. We would be happy to christen you.
Yeah,
and a lot of that too is if they've got the technology from the spaceships. All of these different countries want to keep it to themselves, so that they have the advantage if there's any way of backwards engineering them. So they're not going to admit these things exist.
No one is,
Yeah.
if they do. Yeah.
Well, you do know that Reagan's Star Wars initiative wasn't pointing at the planet.
Right.
No, it was pointing out, yeah. Just like why? It's just when you hear certain things, you think, why? Why would you do that? Now, apparently, there's been a plane, an American plane, just recently that has been. It's not Black Ops anymore. It's been officially accepted that it's a real thing. It still looks a bit plainish, but it looks very futuristic.
Yeah.
It's a spy plane, apparently. So I suppose it's the continuation of what the Blackbird was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And they've also admitted that there are ships, lights, globes, Tic Tacs, or whatever that are flying that aren't ours, that aren't anybody that they know of.
Again, I
That are like superior technology that they just can't.
I don't trust the government of
We don't know-
any
we don't know
colour of any place to tell me the truth. So if they're turning around and saying, these things, we don't know what they are, it's like, oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I'm not so sure. Okay, well, he's just thrown him off.
Look at that.
So how come these guys can
Chemistry.
breathe?
Sarah says, "Oh, hi, Helen. Much love from across the puddle."
I'll tell her,
Okay.
Sarah. Thank you.
Say what now?
I think
How come this guy on the ship can breathe?
I don't know.
I think in certain parts they don't need the masks on,
Right, okay.
but the sea is poison, which is why he's worried about going in.
Matt Black says, my theory is early mid 80s, they saturate the media with the shuttle taking off until everyone loses interest. Then after that, the real business starts for NASA, or the Space Navy can then carry out building a moon base. Yeah.
There's no doubt that since they went to the moon, NASA has a record of getting involved with projects and technology that are not as good as the competitors have been, the competitive projects have been showing them. So they've always gone for the low level, and it's always kind of been blamed on money, on budgets. But I think, Matt, that there's a certain truth to what he's talking about. I think there is something else going on. I think a lot of the things that people see are simply, governmental owned or even privately owned aircraft that they don't want to tell you about. If they really had sort of anti-gravity in some way, some technology, if they really had that, then we're talking about, we don't want to use oil, we don't want to use gas, and we don't use this, we don't use that, green, and all the rest of it. Well, maybe why do you think there's maybe a push towards green in the way that it is? Okay, because for instance, the UK has gone bonkers with green, but we're less than 1% of the whole output of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. We just us changing can't do anything. Okay, and then you've got these zealots all around the world doing that instead of thinking about, how do we do this over a managed period and make sure people are okay. It does make you wonder, because if those technologies were there, anti-gravity, they would completely destroy the energy of the energy markets of the world overnight.
Yeah.
They would completely destroy it. So how do you get that secret technology into the mainstream? You've got to do it over a long period of time. And maybe, okay, I'll go out there on a limb here. Maybe the reason that they've got that technology is a crashed craft or something like that. Okay, that they reverse engineered. Well, they can't let that out. Well, they feel that they can't let that out to the public, which means you've got to do this over a long period of time, which means you've got to keep a whole bunch of stuff secret.
Yeah.
I'm just shooting the breeze. I don't know. I haven't got a clue, but it does see it. None of it makes any sense.
Well, the world runs on the petrodollar.
Yeah,
So
exactly. Yeah,
you come up
until you
with
get rid
another
of that, and you
means of-
can't get rid of that overnight because it would
Yeah.
be disaster. Disaster.
It'd be a financial collapse, the likes of which we've never ever seen. You're most welcome, Glenn. Such a delight. Matt Black says, yeah, possibly. Matt Black says, that's my argument. Yep.
Yeah.
There's
That-
a lot of good theories out there.
Yeah. That again. Look at that profile on the left there.
Yeah.
And then he's got the cross hatching in underneath the eyebrow, under the brow before the eye, right at the top. It's just fabulous.
I like the shadow he puts under the helmet because it makes his eyes more intense because there's
Yeah.
no
Yeah.
sort of eye in there. So there's no
Yeah.
pupil in there.
And he's doing all this in black and white.
Yep.
There's no need for any flashy color effects. It's
Very
just
much a Phantom Stranger effect there.
yeah, just
The
beautiful.
eye slits coming through, yeah. More cross hatching here. Water.
Oof, look at that.
Rump. Rump. There's just so much to love about this. So many panels that are just stand out.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't mean stand out from the other panels. I mean just in isolation compared to so many other strips that you see. Just so much of this is so bloody good.
Yeah, Matt Black says,
Yeah.
I think color is best left out of some comics. And this is one of them comics that doesn't need color. No, doesn't need it at all.
Something else I think is that he's exactly right. Matt is exactly right. But some of the other things, it's not just about the art style either. It's about the genre.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean that one genre should only be in black and white or should only be in color. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that the genre and the story and it all kind of filters into the way that you draw the work. And there's just certain stories that black and white nails it. I mean, a perfect example of that would be all the Eerie stuff. You go back and look at the Eerie books.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you don't want to put color on that.
No.
And it doesn't need it in any way, shape, or form because it's just captured the mood. You know, some of those half tones and the board that they were using, the stuff that you paint onto, and just beautiful, beautiful work.
Color would just get in the way, and we've seen that happen with like the Halo Jones colorization.
Yeah.
That we went through a few months back. Sarah says, man, that disaster of the oil spill with a few years back, that they destroyed so much nature and economy and residents, etc., while covering up as much as they could. Yeah, agreed about governments. Government is a boon and a bane. Just act. Yep.
I think it's more bane than boon, personally. But
well, we're kind of seeing that right now in North
yeah.
Carolina.
Well, that's after watching. We watched Death of Stalin last night.
Okay.
Which was hysterical. It's a very black comedy, but very, very good. And it was about how obviously the death of Stalin and how Khrushchev came to power. But it was just comedic. But it showed you the horror of what was going on, the horror of a totalitarian government that just killed people at will, just randomly killed people, murdered, raped, abused, all tortured, just literally on the basis of I'll put them on a list. It was like lists everywhere, and the utter incapability of anyone to do anything properly because they were all so scared stupid of what they might say or do. And it was, very much a warning. Don't let that shit happen again.
Did it show you the photographs where people were removed after they fell out of favour?
Yeah, I did that at the end. So, like at the end, they had the credits for all the actors that were in it, obviously, and they had photographs, and people were being removed or scrubbed out or having someone
airbrushed out.
Airbrushed out. Yeah, it was a very clever film, very, very clever and very funny. It's one of those things where it took the humour to mean that you could swallow the pill of understanding just what was going on.
If you didn't laugh, you'd be crying.
If you didn't laugh, you'd cry. If you didn't laugh, you'd think we're all doomed.
Yeah. Well, what's it they say? The more things change, the more they remain the same.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just this whole. I think what was most concerning is, because over the last 10 years or so, we've just had this. Oh, if you don't agree with us on a particular subject, we'll cancel you.
Yeah.
And how that has strayed into government and nanny state. Like now our lot are saying, oh, you maybe can't smoke in a pub garden, stuff like that. And whatever the arguments, freedom of speech is incredibly important. And, this film was just literally just showing people if they didn't say the right thing, they were dead. Well, and if they did what they were told, but nobody wanted you to know what they'd done, even though they'd done the right thing, they were just killed. It was just a complete inability to appreciate human life, and it was just this from the top down total communist dictatorship regime. It was hideous, and everybody was scared. Even the people at the top were scared of each other. It was just fear right the way down. It was a very, very clever film. Definitely worth a watch.
Sarah says I might want to zip line to you guys this fall. This place freaks me out right now. Not sure where you're at, Sarah, but
pretty much the same.
Matt Black wants to know if he lived. Probably talking about Star Wars.
That's very good.
LOL. Yeah. The boon part isn't that I get government assistance for health coverage, which has literally saved my life. But yes, you're so right, Russ.
Yeah, well, there's places where government should be, and there's places where government shouldn't be. Government should be there to help the people that are their boss. Okay, they shouldn't be there putting things in your way. They should look after the roads, the national security, and the health. Okay, everything else, stay out of my life. I know it's far more nuanced than that, but seriously, there's things that I know that America has its own conversation about healthcare. That our national health service is in a right state at the moment, but the core of it is a wonderful thing. There's no doubt that I think the trouble is government gets too easily involved in trying to tell people what to do instead of trying to do the right thing. So there you go.
Matt Black says sounds like how North Korea is today. Seriously, this country. Yeah. 100%, Russ.
Yeah. But there you go. Let's get back to the fun. Look at that. Look at that vehicle. That's fabulous. And the smoke around it as well. That's great.
Yeah.
Hold on, is this a different artist?
Nope.
Yeah, it's Colin Wlson now.
This is
This is a different artist.
Switch over to Colin Wlson. Yep.
So straight away, that one panel made me think it was a different artist.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at some of the other panels, it's almost like he's copied the style on Rogue.
Yeah.
But that panel down there on the bottom left, that's all Wlson.
Trying to stay there. Yeah. Trying to not be too jolting in style. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Because like Cam Kennedy, who's on this strip, probably the most, completely different look.
Oh yeah, that's a much simpler, open style, isn't it? Yeah.
Same thing with Brett Ewing. He's got a almost a cartoony look. He's a
Brett
the guy who did Tank Girl, isn't it? Is he? I think so.
Was it Brett Ewing? No, it was.
I could be wrong.
It was the Brett Ewing's. I think he was involved in it. I think he did it for, but it was. I'm trying to remember the guy's name. He was involved in the Gorillas group.
Yeah.
He did the animation for the Gorillas videos. Oh, tip of my tongue. I'm getting old.
I hear you. Hang on, I can look it up.
And he was one of those artists that was literally picked out of art school to work. I mean, he went straight into it, straight from art school, straight into it.
Jamie Hewlett.
That's it.
Hewlett. Jamie
Hewlett,
Hewlett's who I'm thinking of. Yes, sorry.
Yeah, he's got a unique style, definitely.
Yes, he does.
Yeah.
Very much so.
And I love the Gorillas stuff.
This is Matt Black says German half track. Says I reread The Shadow Kingdom, great writing and art. The first time I read it was on the edge of my seat, wondering how it would end. Awesome.
Cool.
That's just
brilliant.
Howard is such a great writer. There's
He
his
is.
prose on that. It's just amazing. The pacing is great. Yeah, well, the military artwork and story does tend to bring up politics for some reason. LMAO. Good to get back to the book at hand. Yeah. Thanks, Michael. That's a great.
Thank you, Michael. Yeah.
Hope you get the first issue of the Atlantean and that you like that just as much, because we're using Shadow Kingdom as a stepping off point and continuing the situations and characters from there into the Atlantean. Got a lot of stuff planned for that.
Oh yeah,
It'll be fun.
It's lovely work.
Same stark black and white feel to it, but at the same time, enough of a different style for you to know it's not Gibbons.
There's a different flow to the way that he does people.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. His technology is slightly different as well. It's a bit more futuristic rather than World War II-ish.
Yeah, it's got a little bayonet.
Not so much the gun. I'm talking about the top left up there. That looks more like something out of a Star Wars movie.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
But still, the rendering, the black and white aspect, the spot blacks and the line work, he's really kept the same feel, which is really quite good. I mean, to follow Dave Gibbons and keep up.
Yeah.
Two different things. It's really good.
So looks like a screen back here and down in here. It's all screened.
That's great.
Well done. It's Jack Davis, obligatory bottom of the shoe here.
That spaceship or whatever it is, that space station or whatever it is, reminds me of a sort of a Akira rendering.
Yeah. That's why I say his approach to technology is slightly different.
Yeah.
It's more sci-fi-ish.
The more I think about Jack Davis on this, and especially Jack Davis's more serious stuff, his Western and his horror material, this really looks like a cross between Gibbons and Davis.
Yeah.
And a lot of the inking technique and some of the feel to it, some of the starkness, some just really, it does to me, especially something like this pose, not just because the foot's sitting here, but because of the way it is. It's got kind of a Davis feel to me. We'll see that here in a couple of weeks. We'll look at some of the EC horror comics during that period when Graham Ingalls and Jack Davis were at their height of doing serious comic work. More zip screen here. Now that we're getting closer to Halloween, we'll do more horrific material. Take a look at some of that stuff. Look at that. Really does. He's added, I think, a little bit more of a cartoony look to his stuff. Just a touch. You can still see a lot of Dave Gibbons type of style here. At the same time, he's got that cartoony, almost caricature face that you'd see from something from Jack Davis. And in no means do I say that's a bad thing. This is all great stuff.
If you look at that right-hand page, first panel where he's looking at the guy, it's almost as if the shadow on his head is coming from the word balloon above it. It's at the top.
Where?
At
Here?
the top. No, at the top.
Oh, at the top.
There.
Oh, yeah.
It's like the light's directly above them and the word balloons put the shadow on his head.
Yeah, it does.
I think what he's done, Colin, here, I mean, I don't know, this is just my opinion. I think what he's done what a good artist should when coming onto a strip. He's not imitated the previous, but not done too much jarring with it. Mm-hmm. And now we've gone a few pages in, it's beginning to change.
I can tell he is a big fan of EC. Look at this panel. That's not Wally Wood. Nothing is right there. Look at how that looks. Just great stuff. Even the machinery up on top, the use of the tone back here. That's very, very Wally Wood to me. I bet Wilson's a big fan of the EC material.
God, I tell you what, those faces are a bit Plug as
stuff.
Well.
Yeah.
And who was the guy that did Micronauts?
Michael Golding.
Golding. Yeah, they're a bit Golding.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Probably the same influences.
Yeah, that's probably what it comes down to. Yeah.
But still, it's all, file it all under great stuff.
Yeah.
Some of the best by the best here. Suddenly we're quiet again.
Yeah, it's impressive, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is a different. It's starting to become more of a different approach now.
Mm-hmm.
There's more light line work. I suppose it's because of the technology aspect. There's more sci-fi, high-tech stuff, and there's more lines on the page as against black.
He's probably getting more relaxed into his own.
Yeah.
Wilson
he's starting to do his own thing, yep. Which is what you should do, because he's done a really good job of carrying it on from where Gibbons stopped, and now he should make it his own. Yeah, excellent stuff. Oh, that face—that's a little bit Mike Mahone. That face.
To a novice, you probably won't even notice the artist changed. Still just great stuff.
Who's this? Is this?
No, this is still Wilson.
Still Wilson?
No, sorry, this is Gibbons.
Gibbons again. Yep. Right, okay.
I was going to say, that's a very Gibbons look to me.
Yeah, so I was thinking. Yeah,
that's what it is. It's Gibbons again.
If you look at the right-hand page of the last panel.
Yeah.
That's not a copy, but it reminds me very much of the Sidewinder on Thunderbirds. That falls down that big crater, big military thing that pulls the trees up. That's I think that's from that.
Yeah. I think it's got a little bit of Alien in there as well, Nostromo.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, the leg here. Yeah.
That guy there shouting New Earth looks like Rorschach, doesn't it? Kind of
He
thing.
does a bit. Yeah.
It's Rorschach's great grandson,
Yeah.
200 years in the future.
But can you see what I'm saying about the difference in technology?
Yeah.
This is more bulky and shadow casting, whereas the Wilson stuff there's just more line work in it and more sort of techie, angular stuff going on.
Matt Black says the cockpit area of the spacecraft looks a lot like the shuttlecraft from Star Wars.
Yeah.
Probably right up in here. Yeah.
Lovely.
And here, this great inking here, knowing not to finish the face, just leave a little bit of halo before it hits this heavy shadow here. Really pays off.
If you look at the guys on the previous page talking to the sergeant, and then the guys again on the next couple of panels, they've gone long. He's drawing long.
They have. Now. Yeah, he's drawing the people taller, isn't he?
Yeah.
Isn't that weird?
Might be into Watchmen work at this point. No?
No, this is all before Watchmen.
Okay.
Well, that spaceship thing looks heady, doesn't it?
Even
though it wouldn't be in space.
No, but it looks like it has weight and three-dimensionality.
It's capturing mass. Because mass is still there. So if you get hit by a little dot, it'll still hurt you. Even though it doesn't weigh anything, it has mass.
It's cross-hatching back here for gray tone. It's beautifully done. I like the shading here, too.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Oh. Did I miss a page? Nope, it's only 4 pages, this chapter. Great look here.
Is the title, is it Hard Rain Gonna Fall, or is that the next one? What was the title of this episode? Go back a page.
Hard Rain. I don't think it's got a title.
Right. I'm sure. I just remember that Hard Rain's Gonna Fall. It's like Bob Dylan, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Look at that.
This inking here is amazing. The position,
all of it,
everything on it. Yeah. It's great. Panel here as well. Fantastic stuff. Next to Steel Shaft Blues. Still Dave Gibbons. Crazy stuff. Silhouettes here.
You can see why Dick Giordano wanted to get Dave Gibbons over to America, can't you?
Mm-hmm.
Did Dave Gibbons draw Wonder Woman at one point? I know he did Green Lantern and a bit of Superman, but did he do Wonder Woman?
I'm not sure, but I can find out.
Or maybe I'm thinking of a Superman strip she was in. Look at that bottom left panel there where they're walking away from you. When he's saying stack the notes, kill him. To me, the best part of that panel is that guy has no feet.
Mm-hmm.
It would spoil that machine gun thing that other guy's got in the foreground.
Yeah.
All right, let me scroll through his biography here.
That silhouette at the end of that page.
It's great, isn't it?
Fantastic, isn't it?
Green Lantern, Sinestro Corps War. Just imagine Stan Lee with Dave Gibbons recreating Green Lantern Corps, Batman Brave and the Bold number 200, Batman versus Predator 1 through 3, Batman Black and White, number of short stories there, Legion of Superheroes.
Sorry, Batman versus Predator.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
Kubert.
There's probably been a couple of Batman versus Predators though.
The first one was Andy Kubert, I thought.
Yeah. World's Finest with Steve Rude. Little Book of Criminals. Did a little page there. Gray Shirt. America's Best. No, it doesn't mention any Wonder Woman that I see. DC Comics Presents, where he crossed over with the Atom. It's number... I don't even see a number with it. One Shot from 2004. Rand Thanagar War. He did. Nope, that's it. Then it goes over to Vertigo.
Right.
Hellblazer, DMZ, the originals, The Unexpected. Then he's got a shorter amount of stuff he did for Marvel. Life and Times of Martha Washington for DC, for Dark Horse, I mean. And then Aliens. Dark Horse Presents. Yeah.
Aliens.
All sorts of aliens. No Wonder Woman, though.
Right.
See, do you see what I mean about this artwork compared to the other guy?
Yeah.
Compared to Wilson?
Mm-hmm.
It's far more black and white, as in the spot blacks are far more prominent. There's also, I mean, look at the amount of white space there is.
Yeah.
And I'm not actually talking about that. I'm talking about white space in the panels.
Mm-hmm.
It's all built, so it's like so much black and
like
then white.
intense lighting.
Yeah, it's just incredible.
Yeah. A little bit of gray line work here.
Yeah, and that's why that jumps out in the way that it does. Yeah. The control is just brilliant.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
look at that. Wow.
Ninja
Superb.
Murder Most Foul. Yeah. Back to Colin Wlson again here.
Wow. Fantastic, isn't it?
God, it's just like 81. I used to get these comics used to come through my door, and I would just be, that would be taken up for the whole weekend, reading and rereading it and poring over it. Just the fact that people turn around and say, "Oh, comics only take you 5 minutes to read" or whatever. Well, you know, how many pages were in an average prog? 30.
32, I think. 30 plus cover, yeah.
30 plus covers. So, you know, you could read it in half an hour.
Mm-hmm.
But I would revisit it again and again and again and again and reread it again and again. And it just shows you how good the stories are that you want to do that, and how good the artwork is that you want to just look at it and stare at it.
Well, and a lot of these, too, you had to read them in a row because the stories were so dense and they were chopped up into 4 to 5 page increments. You would almost have to go back after a couple of months and reread it, and you'd get almost a whole different story.
But that's what I'm saying. Even before that, just the Saturday morning that it turned up,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I'd be sitting there all day reading it.
Yeah.
It didn't take you all day to read it.
It's almost like going to your theater and seeing a back in the 30s and 40s and seeing a serial.
Yeah,
one like a chapter play, a one part of 12. You know, in order to get the whole story, you have to go back every week and get it.
Yeah.
These are the same way. And there are so many great features that there's usually 5 or 6 episodes at different IPs in every issue of 2000. There's always a constant mix going on depending upon what story was done.
Oh,
Here we are.
it's lovely work.
Looks like a dry brush technique here. It might be a zip screen. Just
And
because it's so consistent here.
He's
Be a
he's
sponge.
getting into his own vibe now as well, isn't he?
Yeah,
Look
he
at him.
is.
He's no.
Little bit more thin line work, breaking up the white spaces.
I think that tone is a sponge.
Oh,
Yeah.
it could be too. Yeah,
Spungy.
yeah.
Gotta love a spung.
Nothing wrong with a good sponge.
Doctor.
Yeah,
Nurse. Sorry.
for that. Kaboom. It's all thin to thick line work here.
Yeah.
It's nice. Wow. Ugh.
I'm trying to think what else I've seen this guy on.
Give me a second, I can tell you. I think
Because I just recognize it, but not from here.
Has he done any commando work?
No, I don't think so. I think it's probably more likely to be Marvel or DC.
he's done some work for he's listed as a New Zealand artist.
Right.
Nice looking look here. Let's see. Adventures of Captain Sunshine. Wilson's Young Blueberry. Good on him. Judge Dredd, a lot of Judge Dredd. Tharg's Future Shocks, Rogue Trooper, a lot of Rogue Trooper. Dan's Dan something. The Shadow of the Sun. Looks French. Thunderhawks from Soleil Productions. Pulp Sci-Fi, Welcome to the Machine.
Did he do any Marvel or DC? Oh, I know. I know where I remember him from. It's not on Atomic, is it? Atomica.
I'm looking. The Losers. He did for DC 26 to 28.
Yeah.
Star Wars for Dark Horse. Wonder Ball. Kill Mystery, Nevada. Delcourt, writers Fred Duvall and Jean-Pierre Picot. Looks like a lot of some Western work. Yeah. Now, one award. Best story on the Prix Saint Michael for Duplom dans la Tite, something like that. Anyway,
very much a European artist.
Very much.
Yeah.
Sorry to have massacred those names, folks.
So Atomic wasn't on there? Atomica?
No list that I see. No listing. Bionic Commando. Let me start over and look again.
No, don't worry. I just had this feeling that I'd seen him somewhere before, but obviously I've just seen something similar.
A lot of Judge Dredd, the Doomsday Scenario, a lot of Tharg's Future Shock, a lot of Rogue Trooper. That's pretty much all that I recognize him from 2000. And no Batman work or anything. The Losers with Andy Diggle from Vertigo.
Andy Diggle, all right. He would have been good on Batman, this guy.
2005, yeah, he would have been really good. Star Wars, a lot of Star Wars, a little Star Wars, Rebellion. Star Wars Legacy, 9 and 10 and 13. Did stories in. Yeah, other than that, he got the majority of his work from France, it looks like. A lot of that stuff.
Yeah, well, he would have been paid properly.
Yeah, Nevada, in the magazine Nevada, I think it is. Delcourt with writers Fred Duvall and Jean-Pierre Picot. He did a number of stories that all have ISBN numbers behind them, so entire graphic novels.
Cool.
I'm not even going to try to pronounce it. Solitaire in May 2019, Route 99 in 2020, Blue Canyon in 21, Jack London in 23, all released in January. Viva Las Vegas in 2024. So with the exception of Los Angeles, all work Wilson had created for the Francophone BD market has been released in multiple other languages in Europe as well. Beyond French alone, the UK-US work is usually readily available through internet retailers such as Amazon. Yeah, here we are.
Wow.
Oh, lovely.
It's more of that sponge work.
Look at his size of his feet as well.
Yeah,
Just that.
that's Gibbons there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just gorgeous.
We're at the half hour. We should probably stop. Hour and a half in.
Yeah.
At this gives us a good break. We'll pick up some more Rogue Trooper if you want us to, folks. I've got a couple other volumes of the stuff as well as a couple of phone books of that material.
I think we should, because you've got other artists on there.
There's a Cam Kennedy cover there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
using
Yeah,
that.
Cam Kennedy's on the top. You're right. We should get some Cam Kennedy. Definitely.
There.
There's lots of got Colin Wlson right the way through, so it's good as well.
Yeah. Definitely.
That looks a little bit like
This here?
a Mike McMahon. McMahon. I never know how to
It looks like
pronounce
Cam
his
Kennedy
name.
to me.
It's
What,
McMahon. It's Cam Kennedy, that, but it's pronounced McMahon.
Is it
McMahon?
McMahon?
Yeah.
The one on the left, the cover on the yellow cover.
Yeah, that's Cam Kennedy.
Is that Cam Kennedy? Right. Okay.
More Rogue Trooper on the way, folks. So I don't know if we should pick it up next Sunday or not.
Yeah, do it
We're
next
getting-
Sunday.
Getting close to Halloween. All right, next
that's
Sunday
okay.
we'll look at book
do it
2
next
then.
Sunday. We'll do a something horrific for Comics by Night.
Yeah. Well, for Comics by Night, this is what I'm thinking.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, let me get it.
Your camera has behaved much better, by the way.
I've left it alone.
I'm going to say he hasn't been messing with it. That's why.
That's Groot.
Shouldn't
I am Groot.
Shouldn't that say?
Here he goes.
There we go. Shouldn't that say the Marvel Monster Bus by Jack Kirby, and Jack Kirby?
Jack Kirby.
Well, because Larry's in there too a little bit.
All right, Jack Kirby,
Oh,
Larry
look-
Lieber, and Jack Kirby.
Look at how thick that baby is. Boom.
Well, that's going to take a few months to get through, isn't it?
That's
At
a solid
least.
one. That's
I
what
figured
she
we
said.
could spend a couple weeks on it at least, especially around Halloween, because it's got all the great old monsters in it.
Brilliant. Behold, I am Groot.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. Oh, that artwork.
Great Kirby material here.
Oh,
Monstro, the menace from the
look
murky
at
depths.
that.
Steve
He's
Ditko
got
as
his-
well. Look, that's Ditko to the
Ditko.
left.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I got a whole second volume exactly as big as this. That's mostly Ditko.
That's Kirby, Ditko and Kirby.
Yeah.
Yeah. Brilliant.
That's Kirby
Wow.
pencils and Ditko inking.
All right. Don't show us too much.
That's Friday, folks.
Wow.
Comics by Night.
Hey,
We'll be looking at some monsters for Halloween
monsters.
for a few weeks.
Rawr.
Not just Groot. Lots of great stuff. Trees and all sorts of strange things that walk like a man.
Not like an Egyptian.
Let's see. Sorry, I've been neglecting the chat again. Didn't mean to. Here we are. Sarah says that's French for sun. Okay, productions. Yeah, Soleil.
I thought
Yep.
it was just lay sun.
Yeah, Le Sun.
That's how you order food in France.
I
lay
did better in
chip.
French. Go ahead. Sorry, Russ.
Lay chips, s'il vous plaît. Pronto.
Pronto. That's the Lone Ranger's buddy. Anyway. I did better in French than I ever did in English. Can't figure that out, but okay. Thank you for the stream.
Thank you
Thanks,
for
Michael,
being here,
for
Michael.
tuning in.
Yeah.
Great show. Sarah S., thanks for stopping by. Matt Black. The guy on the yellow comic needs to spend some time on his legs more than his upper body at the gym. LOL. He's talking
I think
about
why I
that
was getting
Cam Kennedy cover.
confused with Kennedy and McMahon there is there's some similar rendering on the
Yeah, it's that line, isn't it, on the
on the shadow,
trousers,
and
yeah.
also the way he's rendering across the trousers, and the
Yeah.
fact that he had really skinny legs.
He does
Because
have some
McMahon
skinny
loves
legs.
to do that as well, doesn't he?
It does, yeah.
But yeah, you can see it now. Yeah, totally.
More next Friday, folks. Stop back by Rogue Trooper Book 2. Nope. Sorry,
Sunday.
next Sunday. Next
Next
Sunday,
Sunday.
folks. Next Sunday, folks. Rogue Trooper Book 2.
Rogue
Next
Trooper.
Friday, Monsters. Monsters. Great Kirby work. Ditko is in there. Dick Ayers, you'll probably see Larry Lieber in there writing and drawing, I think. Doing all sorts of stuff. You never know who's going to do the next story till you turn the page. But great,
you do.
great
Jack
classic
Kirby-
monster stuff.
You do know who does it, because Jack Kirby does them all.
It's most of them. Yeah. All right, folks. Deeply appreciate you stopping by. So
just before you leave it,
Yeah.
Groot is deaf. He's hard of hearing, because that cover says, "I defy you, Groot. I shall destroy you all before midnight." And he goes, "Behold, I'm Groot. Who dares defy me?"
Oh, he's got a little bit of trouble with his sight as well.
yeah.
But with ears like that, you think he'd be able to hear everything.
It's like
Well-
it's him. It's him over there. He defies you. That bloke there with the funny haircut.
Take that guy. Yeah.
And he's pulled out the lamppost from the floor.
Sure.
Arr.
All right. Russ, tell folks how they can find you.
Yeah, you can find me at russleach.com. Sign up for the email list there. And there you go. You can get hold of stuff like this. Proper artwork. There you go. The Atlantean is on its way. I'm very close to finishing up on the inks. The project will be finished well before the end of the campaign. So it will go straight to print. But you can find out all about that, find out that and more by going to russleach.com, signing up for that email list. There you go.
And go over to Fund My Comic and take a look at that campaign and buy in if you can.
It is there.
You won't regret it. It's a lot of fun. Very entertaining story. Very proud of it.
We're doing okay. We're just like just about a week or just a bit more than a week in, 8 days in, and we're up to 59 backers, which is great. You know, I think actually we're running a little bit higher than the Shadow Kingdom. But this was all about getting readers. It's all about telling stories and get that readership. So it's not so much about the financial target for the first few books. It's about getting out there and making sure people get to read the book and enjoy it along with us. So.
Yeah. Yep. Glenn, tell folks how they can find you.
You can find me here on this channel on Friday mornings and Sunday afternoons. You can find my work on Amazon, and you can also find some of my work on Fund My Comic. My Hatch book is still up there, and I've got, I nearly gave something away there. That's it. Look on Amazon for my work. Google my name and you'll find something.
Excellent.
Excellent. And folks, I've been your host, Randy Zimmerman. You can find my work over at arrowcomics.store. arrowcomics.store. You can find such works as The Fool, which is a great superhero story, as well as Paragon, the two great superhero stories, very different flavors. I love writing a lot of different things. Alice in Chains is available over there as well, a bit of a horror twist, kind of a female Frankenstein type character. The Hero Bot Zero, which is a book that I draw as well as do the writing in. Little robot protecting his city from large monsters as long as he can do it on the clock. And a fantasy title called Calico Shard. It's a group of fantasy characters that are working hard to put their world back together again after it's been destroyed. So we hope that you go over there, look at the other fine books over at arrowcomics.store. There's a lot of other books over there as well, and a lot more coming, a lot more on the way. I'm prepping a couple of books right now that'll be available only digitally over there. So just a couple of little small touches left to go. But right now I'm finishing up the plot for Atlantean 2. So,
Randy, what's that War of the Worlds on you, behind you, on your spinner?
here, that's a book I did.
Oh, is that yours?
Yeah. This is Arrow Comics, War of the Worlds, the Memphis Front.
Oh, right. I didn't know you did that.
Yeah, it's a modern updating of War of the Worlds, the novel, only it's 100 years later, and the Martians have figured out how to cure their bacterial problem.
Yeah.
And they start dropping the red weed.
They went to the clinic.
Pardon?
They went to the clinic. So they
Little
cleared up their
antibiotics.
bacterial problem there.
Exactly. They
Got
solved their
some
bacterial problem.
penicillin. Got some penicillin and they cracked it.
Yeah.
Well, in the
All the
original
Martians had the
novel,
clap.
they caught some bacteria and died all at once, just as
It
they
was-
were about to complete their invasion. But
Earth's most invisible inhabitants, wasn't it? It was like
Yeah.
it was described at the front of the book that how amazing it was. It was all about earning the right to live on Earth because we'd done it over millions of years, where we'd coped with viruses and stuff, and that's what they ran into in the end.
Yeah.
I just saw a message from saw a message from Mitch there. Is that where he lived been declared a disaster zone? Has something happened?
Mitch,
Yeah.
I don't see him
Done
here.
It's on
No,
the-
he said his internet's down, which
right.
is why he couldn't come on.
Isn't he in
I-
Carolina? North
And it's down.
Carolina.
There
so
was-
we'll be able to come on
There was
this
a
week.
there was a storm a week, 2 weeks ago,
labeled a
wasn't there?
disaster zone. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Middle at the end of last week. Yeah, the hurricane. They didn't expect it to maintain the velocity that it did when it came up the Gulf Coast and slammed all the way up into the Carolinas and destroyed a couple of towns. Quite actually. The Asheville is completely gone. From landslides and from flooding.
Yeah.
It's been crazy. over
Saw
there.
some of it. It's absolutely devastating.
Devastating.
It's-
Yeah.
Yep. Imagine being in that. Awful.
Just terrible. There are a lot of people. I called a few people that I knew from the area yesterday to make sure that they were okay. And I've got a attorney friend of mine in Kentucky, and his stepson is currently in Asheville trying to get their electricity back to them. And he says they're still finding babies in trees over there
Ugh.
that have been caught in the flooding, and then as the water recedes, they're
Ugh.
left in the branches.
How awful.
Says it's not pretty, and the
No.
body count's going to be a lot higher than what they think.
Ugh,
That's what it is.
ridiculous.
It's a pure tragedy, very sad, and we wish them all the best. Mitch, I hope you're doing okay.
Yeah.
So we totally understand you not being able to come on. Well, our thoughts and hearts are definitely with everybody over there in that area. They're truly devastated. And if you get up on YouTube and snoop around a little bit, you've got people who have video diaries that have posted their stuff. It's really quite. It turned into a demilitarized zone pretty quick. And something on Facebook they pointed out says you don't know how thrown back or how fast you can get thrown back in the Stone Ages by losing electricity. Just gone. Motels, ATMs, gas stations, nothing.
Water.
Yeah.
Your water gets hit.
Yeah.
Yep.
We're that close. According to supply lines, we're only ever 8 days away from the Middle Ages.
Utter barbarianism. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And if
On
anything,
that note,
these
my
disasters-
barbarianism.
These disasters should teach us to be more kind to each
Respectful.
other,
Yeah,
more
exactly.
respectful
Yeah.
for what they are and for the fellow man. So,
Talking about barbarians, thank you very much, Michael, for making it 60 backers. Thank you.
thank you very much. Where'd we leave off? Pizza 33 says hello. Matt says, do they bring back Elvis Randy? Yes, that in that particular story. Someday I'm going to finish that arc. I've only got 2 out of the 5 episodes done on that, and I did this back like 20 years ago or so. If you want to read an entire complete War of the World story, go over to Amazon and look under my name or Caliber. They offer a War of the Worlds infestation is what they called it. I didn't want to call it that. That's what they wanted to call it. So I was like, fine, I'm not going to argue with you. Just go ahead and do it and let me know how it goes. And it's a 5 episode it's a complete story, collected 5 issues with artwork done by a German sequential artist named Horace. And it's the artwork on that is very beautiful. And I'm really proud of that story. It's very pulpy and very adventure ridden and sets up the situation. Memphis Front is actually a prequel to that story. And there are some characters that are in the Infestation arc that show up in the Memphis Front arc. And yeah, the leader of of Memphis, the guy who ends up running Memphis, because again, they're in total devastation, sees the ghost of Elvis as a advisor. And the farther south the situation goes, the more the Martians attack, the fatter Elvis gets. and more wasted. But anyway, another story for another time, folks. War of the Worlds, Caliber. You find it over at Amazon. I wrote it. Very happy.
It is on Amazon now. If you're in the UK, it's $10.99. That is a steal.
Yes, it is. And it's a beautifully printed book, too, though. The guys that print it do it on incredible white paper. Very proud of that. But Caliber always, I tell everybody, Gary Reed at Caliber always treated me better than I deserved. So he was real good to me. I have nothing but good things to say about him. And now with me, you have 60 backers. Yes, thank you, Michael, very much. Matt Black laughs. Yep. Folks, we deeply appreciate you being here. We do this because we love it. We love sequential art. We love showing off the art form and looking at the people that we consider the true masters in this art form so that we can learn and be inspired from them. We hope that you feel the same way. If you enjoyed this program, tell your friends, please, and go out there and have some sort of interaction with wherever you're finding this program on whatever platform. There's Facebook. We're archived over at the Comic Book Black Belt YouTube channel, the Randy Zim YouTube channel, and also over at the Indie Comics Network YouTube channel that has all of our episodes. We've looked over a wide variety of material, and there's so much more coming. We love doing this. We're not monetized. We don't get paid to do this. We do it because we love it, and we love being inspired by it, and we hope you are too. That's why we do it. So any type of interaction, hit the like button, leave a comment if there's something that you want us to look at. We'll be more than happy to take it under consideration. So go visit your local retailer as well and help them out. Look at those boxes that are closest to the floor. Might even have a little dust on them. Those old black and white magazines. There's so much great stuff out there for you to discover. If the current comics aren't suiting your needs, then go back and read the stuff that you love, that you remember that you loved, and show it to other folks too as well. This is such a great art form. And the only way it's going to thrive is if we talk about it and we talk positively about it. We show it off and we remind people of the greatness and the power, the communication ability sequential art has. So please go out and do that. If you love this art form, tell other people that you love it. And comics make great gifts for the holiday season as well. So especially a wrapped up edition of Shadow Kingdom. So that you can get in a beautifully hardbound book from Amazon or Barnes and Noble. So do that and look for Atlantean 1 coming out very soon. So that's at funmycomic.com. Folks, again, thanks a lot for stopping by. Watch our other shows. Please read independent and alternative comics, especially ours. And we hope you only the best. Take care. Stay healthy. See you on the next one.
That's what done you.
Take care, everybody, he said, scrolling through his video file. Yeah, that's a good.
Hey, everybody, we're all going to get laid.
Do you draw the Flintstones naked? There's a market for that.
Can't nobody tell me nothing.
Yay!
Yay!
Think about what you've accomplished.
Bye, Jack.
We really shook the pillars of heaven, didn't we, Wayne?
No horseshit, Jack.
No horseshit.
Taste the biscuit, taste the goodness of the biscuit.